Police credits Operation Zero Crime for lowering statistics in the daily arrests. Fafambai says former president stole taxpayers' money on the pretense of executive directive. Lawyer Martin describes the borough's government as a struggling one. This and more coming on Gambia 24. Good evening, you're watching Gambia 24 News with me, Mariama Cham, and thanks for joining us. The Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Police Force is of the view that the fate of crime is taking a downturn after the Operation Zero Crime Patrol Team was launched. The joint security operation has effected the arrest of more than 400 suspected criminals in different parts of the Greater Banjul areas and the West Coast region in the month of April. Fatmata Kasim tells us more.
About 200 from the list of suspected criminals were discharged for not having connection with any crime, leaving 200 more in police custody since the launch of the operation targeting criminal hideouts. Relying on the daily statistics of these arrests, police spokesperson Superintendent Lamin Jai noted that crimes are noticeably going down.
Well, using the figures that we have been registering from the beginning of the Operation Zero, you will realize that as we continue, the figures were dropping. It went to a point, in fact, in West Coast region, we patrolled at some point in time with no arrest. In Banjul, you patrol the whole day or 2 days or so with no arrest. And then same thing applies in KM, and that tells you that the trend is kind of going down, because at the beginning when we started the operation, we were able to arrest up to 117 people, if I remember well. And so if you go down the line, you realize you are not arresting at all. That means, of course, most of the criminal hideouts are being dismantled, and so therefore the people are already either under custody or being processed in court, so therefore the rate has to go down.
He explains that the arrests were not randomly done. Instead, the police rely on its intelligence to identify places being used as safe haven for people who have either committed or are about to commit crimes.
Really, our officers, when they go out on patrol, they gather intelligence first before they go out on patrol. And so the intelligence will point out to certain locations and certain areas which are frequented by people who commit crime or people who are about to commit crime. And so these are the areas that they target. Not every day people going about their business. Those are not their targets. But if they go to certain places that are part of the intelligence that they have gathered, then they will find individuals there. In fact, at certain instances, they found people with evidence of suspected stolen properties, or they found them with instruments that are breaking and stealing instruments. So those are all evidences to show that these individuals within this particular location are connected in one way or the other to some form of crime, and therefore they need to be subjected to further investigation.
The police force is now looking up to expanding this form of joint operation to the rest of the regions.
Very well. In fact, as we are on this Operation Zero, although the fact that the numbers are coming from, the reports that we are receiving are coming from, most of them are coming from Greater Banjul and West Coast region, is the fact or the reason why, in fact, the operation is coordinated within these three regions. But simultaneously also, other regions are conducting their own patrols, because the same services that we have here are also existing in all the regions, and they are also having their own task force, and they are patrolling within their regions as well.
Among these cases from the patrol operations, non-documented immigrants were handed to the Immigration Department regularizations, while those with suspected drugs were referred to the Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Meanwhile, more than 60 people have been charged for crimes relating to going armed in public, breaking and stealing, drinking and driving, among others. For iAfrica News, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
Now, former Attorney General and Minister of Justice Fafa Idris Sambai says ex-President Jammeh has stolen taxpayers' money on the pretense of executive directive. Barrister Sambai made the remarks as he continued his testimony before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission on Wednesday. The top lawyer was at TRRC to give details of interference in the justice system as a private practitioner, as well as the former president's interference in the work of Gambia Revenue Authority. More in this report by Ndai Sise.
Among the issues discussed on Tuesday were the degrees passed by the council, his experience with the Algali Commission, as well as the consequences of that issue, such as his departure from the Justice Ministry, amongst others. The ex-Attorney General gave his testimony about interference in the justice system during his time as legal practitioner, appearing before the Third Commission on Wednesday. Lawyer Fafa Idrisambai explained how former President Jammeh stole taxpayers' money.
And I learned in the Jammeh Commission proceedings that all those who paid money under his executive directive and those monies paid to that special account of the trust bank, that account didn't go to revenue.
Where did it go?
It went to the president.
Who was that?
Yaya Jammeh.
Yaya Jammeh?
Yaya AJJ Jammeh.
Yaya AJJ Jammeh. In a sense, he levied taxes on people and stole the money.
Yes, and on the pretense of an executive directive which was illegal.
According to him, serving as the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice at a time brought a destructive impact to him, and by extension to his family.
But the experience is since accepting office to serve as Attorney General and Minister of Justice.
Why depuis bima jele ligay bobu nek Chief Minister of Justice ak Attorney General
have been enormously devastating both to me and to my family.
Lu mbir la bo xamne daf ma isili yaxute bu reuy man suma bopa ak suma njobot.
I and my 3 little children were for 9 long years evicted from my 45 Karaba Avenue property.
Man ma suma dom ñetti dom dem na be juroom ñenenti at fekk ñu ma génné suma kër gi nekk 45 Kairaba Avenue.
Which property took me many years to develop.
Kër googu jël na ma at yu bari pour ma liggéey ko.
The seizure of my car, furniture, and all other household equipment.
ñu nangu suma moto bi ba pare bagage yi nekk suma biir néeg bi ñu jël bagage yi yépp génné ko fa yóbbu ko.
Including my Pozo 505 G1A 8595 motor car.
Mr. Mbai said the seizure of his properties almost made him a refugee in his own country, and he was able to face and get out of this devastating impact due to the help of Basiru Jawara and his family. He noted that GRA enhanced greater and more efficient revenue collection, but the former president became enormously greedy, selfish and wicked. The witness told the commission that it is better to have a worse civilian government than a good military government. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Ndai Sise.
The Federal Republic of Germany has presented 2 big patrol Land Cruiser vehicles worth $4.6 million through the Charge Affairs to the Gambian Navy service to ease their patrol works around the riverside. The move, according to the German officials, is meant to assist the work of the Navy as an appropriate operating service resources. Details of that in this report. The vehicles will help strengthen the patrol activities of the Gambian Navy along the coast of the River Gambia. The Gambian Navy is responsible for patrolling the coastline against illegal activities ranging from human smuggling, trafficking, among others. Bon Banisht, liaison officer of the German Federal Police, says the 2 cars came in as grants from the German government to support the work of the Navy.
The states of the European Union are financing a project realized by our Spanish colleagues from the Guardia Civil, and the Gambian Navy profits from trainings in order to improve the surveillance and the protection of Gambia's smiling coast. I have the great honor to hand over 2 functional brand new Toyota cars, thank you, worth $4.6 million as a grant from German taxpayers, you may say, to our Gambian partners, represented by the Gambian Navy. These both cars are suitable in all meanings to support the service of the Navy as an appropriate operating resource.
Madani Senghor, commander of the Gambian Navy, commended the gesture, saying that it will help in curbing human smuggling, among others.
Such gestures are necessitated by the need to curb the challenge of illegal migration, human trafficking, and human smuggling by boats. It is, however, important to note that the major drivers of irregular migration, or the push factors in our region, include, but not limited to, the unemployment and the lack of opportunity for the youths, who are the main participants in such ventures. Such journeys have recently contributed to exacerbating the political, economical, and social challenges of both the countries of departure and the countries of disembarkation.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Isabel Bloch of Charter Affairs in the Gambia emphasized the importance of the Gambian Navy in terms of surveillances, adding that the Navy's work cannot be effective without using proper equipment. The Gambian Navy helps in activities taking place along the coastal areas of the country, ranging from rescuing people, addressing human smuggling and trafficking, among others. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham. Well, that report will take us to a quick break, and we'll be right back with the rest of the news. Stay with us.
Star GSM Electronics special Ramadan promotion starting from April 4th to 15 on all our Slaughter home appliances such as two-way gas cooker, microwaves, washing machines, stand fan rechargeable that can last for 8 hours, different stand freezers, deep freezers from 140 to 400 liters, blenders, stand and ceiling fans, solar panels ranging from 150 to 600 watts, different types of solar batteries, stabilizer ranging from 500 watts to 2500 watts, originally flat screens from 17 to 65 inches. All our items are durable, energy saving, modern, and 2 years warranty. Buy our Slaughter deep or stand freezers, 140 liters for only $10,000. Visit our distribution center at Star GSM at Westfield Highway opposite OJ Junction, Talindi Market, or Tabokoro Traffic Light, or call 700-2494. At Star GSM, our appliances are original, durable, modern, and energy saving. Star GSM Electronics.
Welcome back, and still on Gambia 24. Lawyer Hassan Martin, a human rights lawyer and political activist, has described the government under the leadership of President Barrow as a struggling one. In an interview with iAfrica TV, Lawyer Martin says the economy of the country is going down as citizens are struggling with living standards. Amindao has the rest of that.
Lawyer Hassan Martin was an independent candidate who contested in the 2011 presidential election. He later went to exile during former President Yahya Jammeh's regime. To the prominent lawyer, President Barrow's government is struggling, saying the country's economy and other institutions are going down.
Looking at what governance is about, we know that this present government, currently, if you're asking in the current situation, they are struggling. I mean, there is a lot of disorganization within them, and also, the government looks confused in terms of its agenda, its policies. So right now, if you look at it, the economic policies or the economy is very going down. and Gambians are struggling with their standard of living and how they are living. Secondly, also the law and order also is completely in disarray. And thirdly, also if you look at our institutions like the Department of Lands and Fisheries, those departments also are completely down. So in essence, we see incompetence all around us, and we don't see the proper leadership that will inspire and move this country forward, because definitely a president who is out of touch and who cannot come and give account on issues is very difficult for some of us. I mean, knowing that we believe in standard and moving this country.
Martin, who played an important role in the 2016 presidential election while on exile, said they want to put in place a national unity government that will bring an alliance of national parties.
We are trying to make sure that we put our house in order. We have learned our lesson 2016, whereby a lot of mistakes have been done. I mean, so we feel that this time around we have to handle things professionally for the people, and the agenda to be Gambians to take ownership. What we want to put in place is a national unity government that will bring an alliance of national parties that will form a national unity government, give us a fresh start for a new dispensation, and make sure the institutions start delivering and fight the corruption culture here. You know, it's frustrating, and it's going to be an agenda that will help Gambians. This is it. It's the people that will take ownership, not us.
However, lawyer Martin also lamented the issue of the IEC in relation to the voter registration.
But again, from the word go now, registration becomes an issue. It's concerning when you see the IEC saying that, well, they cannot procure this, they cannot procure that, you know, and elections need material. It's a fundamental pillar. They should have put their house in order 3-4 years ago. You know, so now, okay, registrations we're expecting, that's what they said in May, end of May, we're expecting. But registration also is a process whereby we don't want any Gambian to be disenfranchised. We want Gambians to get their voters card and have their right to vote for any party or any individual that they want. So this is what we believe in, as I say, but really the institution is struggling with the IEC, the reform. For us, I always say, we expect that a good, vibrant IEC with a good, well-equipped IEC will come in the next government.
The political aspirant further promised that when they come into power, their first agenda will be to get the mindsets of the Gambians right. Their mandate, according to him, will be to set standards, law and order, and self-discipline. Reporting for iAfrican News, I am Amindao.
Now, the program manager of the trachoma disease at the Ministry of Health, Sadio Kani, has told iAfrica TV that the country is well prepared to tackle the reoccurrence of trachoma and other neglected tropical diseases. This comes following World Health Organization confirmation for the elimination of trachoma as a public problem in the Gambia, becoming the second country in the sub-Saharan Africa to register such a milestone. Naisise reports.
Trachoma is the world's leading cause of infectious blindness and is part of a group of conditions known as neglected tropical disease. According to the Health Ministry, the elimination of trachoma as a public health problem in the Gambia is a significant contribution towards the attainment of the National Development Plan and the Sustainable Development Goals. The program coordinator of trachoma disease at the Health Ministry, Sadio Kani, said the country is ready to tackle the resurgence of trachoma and other neglected tropical diseases.
Level of eye care delivery in the Gambia is at 3 levels. One, in the community, we have the village health workers, we have the nyateros, we also have the community-based champions. These are there to provide awareness, to provide information and education about eye health, and also to provide refer patients to the community. We've been also collaborating with the traditional practitioners. As you know, in the villages, most of the point of call for many people is the traditional practitioners. What we did was to collaborate with these traditional practitioners. At the end of the day, we've seen them referring patients to the hospital. We've also used the traditional communicators, the Kanyelangos, in the community to spread eye health messages to the people. So all this played a very important part. And as I'm talking to you now, we have 24 primary centers in the Gambia where ophthalmic nurses are based. Their role is to be able to see eye patients and also conduct simple minor operations like lid surgery. In the 7 health regions, we have 7 secondary eye units which are manned by cataract surgeons, and their role is to ensure that their role is not only based at the facility but also responsible for the eye health of the region. And all referrals of these patients come down to Seaside, which is the main tertiary center. So we have the We have the infrastructure, we have the capacity, we have the human sources. All what we need is more support for the trachoma surveillance.
Mr. Kanyi explained the risk factors of the disease on patients who suffered from trachoma, saying women and children are more vulnerable to the disease.
The patients, first of all, they will complain of, as I told you, it starts with simple conjunctivitis. If it is not treated, repeated infection leads to trachoma. They will have red eyes, they will have discharges, they have tearing eyes, they have irritations, they find it very difficult to walk even under the sun. This happens in children. As they grow older, what happens is there is scarring of the eyelids, the eyelashes, instead of turning outside, they are turning inwards, rubbing against the cornea. So if we don't do the correction, what will happen at the end of the day? They will end up having a ruptured globe and the patient will lose the sight. So basically, these are the complications that patients suffer from trachoma. So with proper treatment, you can stop the infection and also correct the inturning eyelashes. Instead of rubbing on the eyeball, you can correct the situation. So the patients will not suffer from that blindness complication.
Trachoma is the disease of the eye, caused by infection with the bacteria Chlamydia trachomatis. The disease is a public health problem in 44 countries and is responsible for the blindness of about 1.9 million people, according to the WHO. A March 2020 data appear to show that 137 million people living in trachoma endemic areas are at high risk of blindness. Trachoma disease has been an epidemic for the Gambia, and the fight against the disease began decades ago. In 1986, a medical survey found that trachoma was the third leading cause of blindness in the Gambia. However, the Ministry of Health described the elimination of the disease in a press statement on Tuesday as a milestone which resulted from a strong partnership that supported the implementation of the Gambia Trachoma program. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am DCC.
Well, the report by NDCC on Gambia's elimination of trachoma disease brings us to the end of Gambia 24 News Bulletin. I am Mariama Cham. Thanks for watching and good evening.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia.